Hey everyone, I have been so looking forward to doing this video all week. In this video, I'm going to share with you the secret to gaining financial independence. And I am of the belief that anyone can achieve a financial independence, but there's really two things that you must do if you're ever going to get there. If you try to get on this journey to financial independence without these two things, it's not going to work out well for you. So stay tuned for about 6 seconds and we'll talk about those two things that you can do in just a second. Hey everybody, welcome back. I am Wendy and I am one half of the House of Five podcast. As you can see, we are in the middle of holiday season. It's my most favorite time of the year. It has been such a hard year this year. We're going through a world pandemic and we brought in the holiday season early this year because we all just needed it. So we are glad you're here. We are all about helping moms and dads on the road to financial independence save more, spend less, build wealth, and dump debt. And so we are glad you're here because we want that for you too. Today we are talking all about the secret to financial independence. And I'm just going to dive right in because there's no need to wait for it. There are two things that you must do if you want to reach financial independence. The first one is your mindset. You didn't think I was going to say something like that, right? You thought I was going to talk about money and to save more money. Well, yes, that's important. But if you don't have the right mindset, it's just not going to happen for you. If you are of a mindset that it's impossible, you're never going to be able to do it, guess what? You're not. And whether you believe you can or you can't, you are right. It's something like that. I'm probably paraphrasing it, but you get the idea. Whatever you believe is going to happen for you, you're right. That is what's going to happen for you. But if you go into this journey with the belief that it is possible, that it is possible for you, it will happen for you. We have been in the hopeless position. We've been there. We know what that feels like. But the light bulb moment for us, and I've shared this many times before, is when I saw that there were other people, normal people, not millionaires, not doctors, not lawyers, but regular people with regular jobs who were able to save 50% of their income. I said, they have to be doing something that I need to know how to do. If they can do something like that, I can do it too. And so that's why we're here, is to encourage you and tell you that you can too. And I hope you get your own light bulb moment where you change your mindset and you know that you can. Once you have that mindset, there's a couple other things that go into changing your mindset. And one is really understanding why. Why do you want to do this? Why do you want to change your financial future? We have ours. We've talked about it many times before, and that is our children. We adopted 4 little boys, added to our family, and our family of 4 exploded to a family of 8, and we just really wanted something different for our children. We wanted to leave them a legacy, and that was not going to happen with $1 million worth of debt. We had to do something. We had to pay off our debt, and we had to start saving money intently. And so we are doing that now, and we know that we will be leaving them a legacy when we pass on in this life. So find your why, because it's going to be what drives you on this journey when things get hard, when you get tired and you feel hopeless. You're going to go back to that why. You're going to know why you're doing it, and you're going to keep going. The third component of changing this mindset is having the confidence that you can do it. And I know that for Curtis and I, we didn't have a whole lot of good financial examples in our own lives. And so we turned to books. We turned to podcasts. We turned to blogs. We turned to our local meetups and made mentors. So you can become confident in your knowledge, but you have to seek it out. And so if you don't have those examples in your own life, there are so many resources out there available to you to learn learn that information yourself, learn how to budget, learn how to, invest in index funds, for example, or, you don't have to jump into the stock market. You don't have to jump into real estate, but you can start learning about those things and learn if that's something that you want to do, and then gain the knowledge to do it and become confident in your own abilities to do it. And then the fourth component of changing your mindset is to have clear and achievable goals. And one of those things in the financial independence community is knowing what your FI number is, or your financial independence number is. We've done videos on that in the past, so I'm not going to do a real deep dive into that, but I'll also do a more thorough explanation in the blog post for this video, which I'll link down below. And so knowing your FI number, the traditional way is to save 25 times your annual expenses, your expected annual expenses at retirement. The second way to do that is to have enough passive income coming in, or business income or rental income to provide for your retirement expenses, your expenses at retirement. That is the route that we are choosing to go. We are building up both rental income as well as business income, and then my husband will have a pension. And so we're taking all three of those things together to get to a dollar amount every single month. And once we have raised that monthly money every single month, we will be financially independent, and my husband can stop working if he wants to, but he probably won't. But if he wanted to, he could. And so there's those two ways of getting to financial independence. And so knowing that number so that you have a goal in mind, then you can kind of strive for that target. The 25 times your annual earnings, that was developed by, or largely it goes back to the Trinity study, which I'll link that down below as well, and a safe withdrawal rate of those funds of maxing out at 4%. And so basically, if you save 25 times your expected expenses, when you are ready to retire and you've reached that number, you can draw down up to 4% of that balance for the rest of your life and not ever run out of money, and in most cases still leave a legacy to your heirs. If you want to know more about calculating your FI number, I'll leave my blog article down below where I go more in depth to that. Now, the second secret to achieving financial independence is not just one thing. It is changing your financial habits. So that's the overall secret, is changing your financial habits. If you keep doing the same things that you've always done, you're gonna not get where you want to be. And so the secret to reaching financial independence, the second secret, is to change your money habits. And I'm gonna quickly go through a list of things that you can do. You do not have to do every single one of these things. You can take as many that fit with your lifestyle and your personality or whatever, but the more you use these, the more they combine and compound, just like interest, and just supercharge your journey. You know what the first two are going to be. It's to pay off debt and to build a budget. Paying off your debt means that you're taking that money that was going towards debt and you're now investing it back into your savings so that you are continuing to build your investment portfolio. Second, use a budget. I know that sometimes budget is a bad word and it can be scary. It does not have to be. I've got some templates for you down below. One is a spreadsheet template where you just plug in your money that you have coming in and the expenses you have going out, and it spits out some numbers for you. It's super easy. Or if you want to do it on a worksheet, you can do it there. There's also all sorts of different types of budgeting apps these days. You can find the ones that work for you. YNAB is one that people use, though you have to pay for that one, and I'm not a fan of paying for those. Mint has one. There's a couple other ones out there, but find what works for you. When I first started budgeting, when I was right out of college, I had a journal, and that's where I did my budget. I did it in a notebook. If that's what works for you, that's what works for you. But use a budget. Know what you're doing with your money so that you can be intentional, so you can give every dollar a job and not find yourself in a position at the end of the month where you're like, what the heck did I spend my money on? You're gonna know because it's in a budget. Reduce your expenses. That is the third money habit that you need to have. We took every single thing we were spending our money on every single month, looked back at our bank statements and said, is this something that I can cut, or is this something that I just don't need anymore? I can take out on my budget. We cut gym memberships. We cut our housekeeper, which still hurts me, but we did. It was $300 a month, and we needed that $300 to do other things for us. So one of these days I'll get her back, but right now that's just not on our priority list. We stopped buying bottled water. We now have a water cooler. We got a used water cooler off of OfferUp, and it's fabulous. It does hot water, it does ice cold water, and we go refill our jugs ourselves. It costs us $6 every time we fill like 3 or 4 jugs. So look at every single expense you have, question it, find a way to cut it or eliminate it, and be frugal. You know, there are lots of different ways for you to do the things that you love to do less expensive. One of the things that we love to do as a family is watch movies. That's our thing. We love going to the movies. We are Marvel fanatics. We love Disney movies. We love Star Wars. We love all of those things. But as a family of 8, that's really hard to do inexpensively if you're going to the concession stand, you're going at night. So we go to the matinee. We'll go to the matinee. It's right near Costco, so we'll go and we'll get, pizza and stuff at Costco, and then we'll drive on over to the matinee. We can do that as a family for about $60, which for a family of 8, hey, that's pretty good, I think. The other thing we'll do is we'll go to the drive-in, and it ends up being about the same thing at the drive-in. So there's lots of different ways, if you really think about it, to be frugal and do the things that you love to do inexpensively. The third habit, the third money habit that will help you supercharge your financial independence journey is to increase your savings rate. When we began this journey, we were saving between 5 and 7% of our gross income, and that was what we were required to do by Kurt's employer, his state pension. That was nothing. That wasn't going to get us to retirement. That wasn't going to get us anywhere. So when we began this journey, we were really starting at close to zero. And what we decided to do is we were going to increase our contributions to his retirement every quarter. And every quarter we were going to target a certain dollar amount to increase it by. And so in the 3.5 years that we've been doing this journey, we have gotten to almost $100,000 in his retirement account. And we're at a savings rate of about 30% now, which is amazing to go from almost nothing to 30%. And if you're concerned that you can't afford putting money into your retirement right now, start small. I don't care if you start with $5, but start there, and maybe increase it every month by 1%, or maybe you increase it by 5% every quarter. Just start and incrementally increase that to see what you can do. I guarantee you that it won't take out as much of your check as you think it will. And the other thing is that you will hone your spending to meet whatever you have. That's a fact. Did you see Odin in the background? He's always visiting me when I record. The fifth, I think we're on number 5 now. The fifth money habit that will help you supercharge. Hey, baby. Hi. I'm recording. Will really help your financial independence goals is to utilize tax optimization. Now, part of that we've already talked about before, and that's increasing your retirement contributions, which are usually pre-tax. So that's one tax optimization strategy, but there are others. There's utilizing the other things that are available to you in pre-tax dollars, because it reduces your tax liability. things like a HSA, like savings plans for your kids. Then there's other tax optimization strategies on the other end, like utilizing a Roth conversion ladder. I'm not going to go into detail about what that is. I'll link down below a really helpful article from the Mad Scientist of what that is all about. But it's really learning about all the legal and legitimate ways that you can get the financial benefit of the tax code to save you more money. So who doesn't want to do that? Number 6 is to increase your income. Find a way to increase your income, whether that's in your present job where maybe you have overtime available to you. My husband, one way that he does that as a teacher is he does lunch duty. He does game supervision, not right now because we're in a pandemic, but when we're back in school, that's something that he does. He also tutors. And so it doesn't take out a much bigger chunk of his overall day. It doesn't really extend much of his working hours, but it does give us a nice cushion in his paycheck, about $500 every single month. That's huge. What could you do with an extra $500? Or maybe you're working one day a week and you're delivering pizzas, getting tips. If you could get, $50 a weekend in tips, that's $200 a month. You could do something really spectacular with that. So find ways to increase your income. And then the next tip, number 7, which goes along with that, is create multiple streams of income. Once you have a few different streams coming in, maybe you're doing a side business, you're blogging, or maybe you're doing a YouTube channel, who knows? But maybe you're doing something on the side, and maybe you're doing a couple other side projects where all these things are making you happy. They're not anything that you're not wanting to do, but they're bringing you in extra income. Right now, as it stands, we have our employment income for my husband, we have my business income, and we have our rental property income. So right now we have 3 streams of income coming in, and we're looking to continually increase that, because the more income coming in, the more money we can save, the more things that we can do, and the faster that we can reach our many goals of financial independence. Now, the final 3 things really aren't money habits, but I do think they are critical to reaching financial independence and maintaining financial independence. The first one is to raise financially literate children. Why are we doing all of this if we're not teaching our kids the same thing? So part of this financial independence journey is teaching our children a different way, that they don't have to do life like everybody else. They don't have to work until they're 70 years old and having to go back to work and, being a Walmart greeter or something like that. Like, we don't want that for our kids. So you're raising financially literate children. You're teaching them how to save money. You're teaching them the value of their working hour. You're just teaching them all of the things that maybe you didn't learn as a kid, the power of investing and the power of being your own boss, those sorts of things. I think we're up to 7 or 8, but yeah, the next one is community. Again, this is not really, dollars, but it is so important, is to have financially independent minded friendships and mentors and community. And whether that's in person, whether it's online, whether you're listening to a podcast, have community, have people that understand what you're doing about, because let's be honest, most people aren't doing this, okay? Most people aren't talking about financial independence, and they're gonna look at you weird. So don't do that to yourself. Go find the other money nerds who get what you're talking about and understand what your objectives are. The final habit is to stay the course. This might take you 5 years, it might take you 10, it might take you 15, and it might take you 20. I'm not sure how long it's going to take you, but this is not something that is going to happen for you overnight. And there are going to be times where you're like, what am I doing this for? Why is this taking so long? I don't feel like I'm making any progress. So you're tracking, you're following your progress, and you're staying the course. You just keep doing what you're doing. It's sometimes going to be hard, but in the end, you're going to look back at what you've done. You're going to look back at what you've accomplished. You're going to look at how significantly you have changed your financial future and that of your children, that you are going to be so glad that you stayed the course. All right, guys, well, that was a whole bunch of stuff, but it really boils down to two things, and those are the two things that we talked about in the beginning. The first thing is having the right mindset. That is the first secret to financial independence, and the second secret is to change your money habits. There you have it. There's the two things. If you like this video, please don't forget to subscribe, to like it, and to come back. And come back so that we can share this journey with you, and you can share it with more people, and we can just reach a bunch of people and bring them into this financial independence movement along with us. All right, guys, well, we are so glad you're here. We hope that you have an amazing holiday. Take care. Bye.